Dance like your life depends on it. Move your feet or lose some toes. Call me cute again. This is how I deal with unwanted attention. A dance with me ends in blood.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are playing Xayah today. She's currently the most OP champion of this patch, guys. She's sitting at the highest win rate, and I'm gonna show you why in this video. So first of all, this build is lethality, so you're playing like poke assassin Xayah, and you're also going Airy as your keystone, so you get insane amount of poke potential. So you have Scorch and then you have Airy, so the thing you want to do the entire game is that you just perma poke people with your Qs. And later on in the game, guys, when you get like one Q and an E, it's gonna take like half HP of a squishy champion. So first of all, the passive, when I use an ability, then you get stacks that you can see right below your mana bar, and that's going to make it so your next couple of auto attacks will throw these extra feathers that's going to deal AoE damage. The goal here, guys, you got that Q, you poke the enemy champ because it has really high range, and then since we are level 2 now, we have that E up, and that is going to recall the feathers. You can do that instantly as soon as you throw out the Q, and that's going to deal a lot of damage. Look at that damage Set is already receiving right now. Try to poke them with the auto attacks whenever you have that feather passive up, because you get that extra range. Just constantly poke people, guys. It's OP for AD carry and mid lane. Don't forget that you can play this both in the AD carry role and in the mid lane as well. And the W is gonna give you increased attack speed, but we are playing the Assassin Xayah. We're going for the Q max into the E secondary. Those are the two super important abilities. So of course, when you go for this build and this setup with the Airy, you want to play really aggressive early game. You have to constantly poke people whenever you get the chance to do so. Whenever they walk up to CS, guys, constantly auto tag them, hit them with the feathers. Keep proccing that Airy, and you can see how strong she is in a 1 versus 1. So I got that kill right here, but we need the tier as well. We are building the tier, but you do not want to start with it because that's going to make your early game too weak. So you get it on your first recall, then you're going to build into the Eclipse. Remember, this is Assassin Xayah, this is not the normal AD carry. You want as much burst damage as possible, guys, and this is the item to go for. You can also go for the Dust Blade, but Eclipse has been a lot more effective. Because you can use your Q, auto attack E combo, and you're gonna proc that Eclipse, guys, easily, just like that. Just constantly poke with those Qs, you're maxing out this ability, and it's going to be on such a low cooldown in the mid game. That's what's making this so OP. It's like it has insane amount of poke potential, and it also doesn't have a cooldown. It's like 2 seconds and less, guys. You can just constantly spam this in fights. You don't even have to fight people. You just spam your Qs and they're gonna be like half HP or less. Get down a ward, of course you want vision. So Xayah is one of those champs that can do really well into assassins. It's like you have Israel and then you have Xayah. These two AD carries are really strong against assassins because Xayah has the ultimate to deny the engages, Israel can build tanky, and he also has a C. So this champ does well into assassins as well, while also having the assassin playstyle with this build. You had to abuse this before she gets nerfed. I'm 99% certain that this is getting nerfed next patch. It might even get hotfixed, that's how broken it is right now. It has the highest win rate, don't forget that. This is not a clickbait video. I'm making this to show you guys how broken it is, so if you want to, you can abuse it to get that elo before the season ends. Look at this, constantly poke with the Qs and also get the auto attacks in. When you get that passive feather up, guys, then try to line the enemy champion up. So you auto attack the minions and then you hit the enemy champion with the feathers. So we got that level 6 right now. Of course, that is the ultimate. That is going to make you untargetable, and then it also throws out feathers. If you use it right, then you can completely remove the set ultimate so it never targets you, marks you. And you have to use that while he's pressing the ult. and he goes untargetable, that's when you use it as well. Remember that your E can root guys. You should know that already if you play Xayah, but if you hit them with, if there are 3 feathers going through them, when you cast that E, then it is going to root them. So like a quick and normal combo you do on Xayah is that your Q throws out 2 feathers, and then the third one comes from your auto attack, and then you can immediately press your E, and they're just going to root the enemy champ. That's like a basic combo. That's what you do to poke people a lot with, but also to go for all ends. So getting the lethality item. So the thing is, her ultimate guys has like, it has 100% 80 scaling. That's insane. And then she also has decent scaling on her other abilities like her Q and her E as well. So you're getting a lot of value from raw 80 items. And now these items are also giving you lethality. So you get like assassin type of damage, but you also have the safety with the ultimate, and you also an 80 carry. So you have ranged assassin damage. And when you want to wave clear, you just throw out all of these feathers, and then you just D, and bam, that entire wave will be gone. Just focus on wave clearing. You have really good wave clear because of the feathers. They deal AoE damage, right? So just throw them out and then recast the E when you have enough feathers, and that is going to one-shot the wave. Just focus on pushing. Your W does give you attack speed, so you can use that when you want to push fast with, or when you want to take down objectives. Playing for the tower plates here. The reason I like to play her in the mid lane, of course, I am a mid lane main, but also because you get solo XP and gold, so you're gonna be even further ahead compared to if you played the AD carry role. Because there's not a support to share the XP and gold with, so you can snowball harder if you play it in the mid lane. But it works both as an AD carry and mid. Look at that damage. That's close to half his HP, that was just 1 Q and an E, guys. This is what this champ can do, and I'm not even fed. I just have 1 kill and that's all. I'm not fed. This is the type of damage assassins do with a full combo. We did this just with a Q and E. And this is how you remove the set ultimate. You see, I timed it right, so it means that his mark doesn't even apply to me. Like, it's just gonna disappear completely. So the goal with this playstyle is like similar to the normal crit Xayah, is that you try to stack up as many feathers behind the opponent as possible, and then you assassinate them with that E. But on the normal Xayah, your abilities don't deal that much damage because you're building a lot of attack speed, you're also getting a lot of crit. But with this build, you're getting a ton of AD and you also get lethality, so you're gonna shred people. You are like a ranged AD carry assassin, like a mix of both. Recall, get that vamp sip, so that's gonna give you the sustain you need. So you get that from your first item, and that's also OP. It gives you everything you need on this assassin type Xayah, but you can also go for Dustblade. But if I have to be honest, then Eclipse is the best in pretty much every single game. Just keep pushing here, farm the waves. It's really easy to farm if you use your E, guys. Just recall the feathers, and just like that, that minion wave is gone. Remember to max out the Q always on this version of Xayah. The normal Xayah has also been doing that when she goes for the airy build. You can also go for Hail of Blades if you want to with this one, it also works out. But the airy gives you that extra bit of poke damage. Not only because of the keystone, but also because you're getting Scorch. That's like the last tier rune in the sorcery tree that also gives you that extra bit of poke damage. So this champ is strong already from level 1. Really strong because you have your Q up, you have insane amount of poke damage, so any mid laner you're going to meet, they're going to struggle a lot. And when you use that ultimate, you of course want to use it to deny some important abilities like the Rengar's ultimate. You know, when you see people engage onto you, that's when you want to use it, so you can take out the important ability and you can kite them and you can get the kill as well. There we go, picking up the shutdown. Insanely fed on this champ right now. We have 3 kills, but we also got a shutdown because our top laner lost both towers at 11 minutes into the game. Because he got camped by the Rengar, so that's not much he can do. But we are super far ahead, guys. We got the Eclipse now. It's the big power spike. Because this is a caster build, we need raw AD items. And that's the Mana Immune. This is the ultimate scaling item, and you definitely need this every single game you play this champ. But just gotta wait for that long sword. We want to get as many items as possible before we get out of the base, so if you can wait like 20 seconds and get a component, then do so. Unless it is going to make you miss a lot of CS. So this version of Xayah, it is not a split pusher, so you want to avoid going into silence. That's why I pinged I was going mid and Malphite is going top. You want to stay mid lane because you're still very vulnerable. You are playing an AD carry. You have unreal damage output, but you're also very squishy at the same time. So if you get caught out by like 2 people, then you're gonna die. Look at this damage onto the Rengar. He's less than half HP now, and we didn't even use the ultimate. And this is another case on how you completely remove the set ultimate. Just look at that damage, guys. This is absolutely broken. This is the most OP champ, and if you don't believe me, just look up these statistics right now, guys. Xayah has the highest win rate out of every single champ. Right before I made this video, when I checked it, she was sitting at a 56% win rate. When a champion has that high of a win rate, they usually get hotfixed, because that means they are completely broken. But a lot of people haven't realized how OP this pick is, so there might still be some time left for you to abuse this. The fun part begins when your Mana Immune gets upgraded. When you have enough stacks on that tier, you get the full item and it transforms. That's the big power spike. You're gonna one-shot people. Like an AD carry or support like Karma or assassin like Set. You hit them with a single combo, they're gonna die straight up. Just look at that damage, that's absolutely insane. And the most OP part, as I said earlier on, our Q is already ready again. It has almost no cooldown, guys, that's why it's so OP. It's like you are playing a Pokemage like a Xerath, but without the cooldown parts. You can just constantly spam your abilities, and because you have the tier, then you also have the mana to do so. And if you get a blue buff, then that's even better, of course, but don't rely on it, because junglers nowadays like to take the blue buff away. It doesn't really matter that much on this jam though, because you have the tier, so you have a lot of mana. Also because your Q barely costs any mana. It's 50 mana per use, so that's almost nothing. You just want to stay mid if possible, and then when you get your core items, then just try to group up. You know, stay with your team and then force those team fights, and before they start you just poke people. Just hit them with Qs. Like you hit the enemy jungle with a couple of Qs and they have to recall, and then you can take an objective away or something. We got the Mana Immune, just gotta wait for it to transform. We almost have enough stacks. Once that happens, then it's showtime. Like she's strong early game, but as soon as this item transforms, guys, it's absolutely broken. And of course, since you're building lethality, this champ and playstyle is very good into squishy teams. Even bruiser teams are fine. Tank compositions, not the best, but no matter who you're playing against, then this strategy with Xayah is the strongest one. It's way better than the crit playstyle, so you always want to use this until it gets nerfed. Play for the objective still. Get those towers down so you can end the game, guys. Remember to use that W because it gives you that extra bit of attack speed. Also that movement speed to kite people when you're in fights. Remember your ultimate has 100% 80 scaling, so if you're going for the full burst combo, then make sure to include that as well. You're gonna one-shot people. So at this point, when you have the boots, you have Eclipse, you have the Manamune, typically you get the armor pin item. And what's even more fun when you get that is not only the armor pin, but also the slow. Every single time you hit someone with a Q or a E, they're gonna be slow, so you can just perma-kite them. Because your Q doesn't, it almost has no cooldown. So you can just hit them with a Q, they're gonna be slowed, and then your Q is going to be up again, then use it again, slow them, and then just repeat. They're gonna be so tilted when they play against this. Most people still don't know how OP it is, guys. People are permabanning it in high-low. Because they know, of course, that's where most of these meta builds come from. But people have known about this playstyle with Xayah, but what they did was that they just went for the normal AD carry build while still having the Airy, and then someone suddenly realized that Eclipse works so much better, and then her win rate skyrocketed, and now she's sitting at the highest win rate out of every single champ in the game. Even if you don't play Xayah, guys, if you want that fast elo, then this is the champ you have to pick and use this build. I can guarantee you're going to climb so fast because no one knows how to play against it. Even if they do, they're still gonna lose. That's how OP it is. Focus down the objectives. It would be a waste of time if we went topside, so we went for the dragon and then we can go bot and push that out. We had to recall here though because there are multiple people pushing in the top side. At this point, people typically have armor guys, so you want this armor pin item. Last Whisper first. The slow passive is going to feel so nice because this is a caster build, so you're going to be using abilities a lot. That means you're going to perma slow people. They will not be able to move and they will also get bursted down with this Assassin Xayah build. Just group with the team, guys. You don't want to split push, just team fight over and over. Just look at that damage onto the set. That was just a Q. And the top laner also building tank, you know, he has the Gold Ringer, he has the Syrax Gauge, but he's still taking a lot of damage. And as soon as you get that armor pen, then you can also burst him down. Look at the damage we are dealing. You still stay in the backline like an AD carry, guys. You hit people from the back and then you just Q poke them. And then also use that E instantly so you get a lot of poke damage off. So you can play her like an AD carry in team fights. But you can also play her like a poke mage. Where just whenever somebody walks up, you try to hit them with a Q and an E. And bam, they're gonna be out of the fight. Look at that damage, that is absolutely not balanced. This is the power of Xayah right now, the most OP champ of this patch. If you're only playing for the elo, this is the right pick right now. You had to abuse this before it gets nerfed, guys. Get that last elo before the season ends, so you can reach that rank you always wanted. So we did give away a shutdown, but we could not survive no matter what. But now that we got the armor pin item as well, it's going to be even more fun. So this game here, they actually have a decent amount of shielding. They have the Zed's W, they have the Syrax Gauge on him as well, and they also have the Karma. So Serpent's Fang is of course a super good item if they have a lot of shielding, but if they don't, then you can also go for other lethality items like the Human's Ghostblade for example, or the Edge of Night. You have so many options, and if you want a hybrid build, then you can also go Infinity Edge, for example, but you need enough crit for it to actually work out, so I do not recommend getting it. Just go full lethality, and then also make sure that you have the armor pin item, and you're gonna one-shot people. Just like that. Just keep pushing. You can see how good the wave clear is. Like, she's OP both as an AD carry and as a mid laner right now. That's what you have to know. That's why it's so important. That if you want that Yeagerlol, you gotta abuse this. Just Q mid or AD carry, or AD carry first and mid secondary. Doesn't matter, guys. As long as you could get to play this champ before people start realizing how OP it is. Look at that damage. 1 Q and an E. Put Xayah at almost no health. It also took out the shield bow. Look at that damage. And we one-shot the Karma as well. This is the power of Assassin Xayah. And the good thing is that your Q has so high range that you never put yourself at risk when you try to go for these plays. You can just stay far away and then poke them with a Q. And if you know that it's going to hit, then you also immediately pop that E. And they're gonna die straight up. But the goal is, the thing is, since it's a assassin build, you don't need to stack up that many feathers, but of course the more feathers you can stack up before using that E, the better it is. But you don't really need that many, guys. Just a couple feathers and you're gonna one-shot people. If you can get the blue buff, then of course that's nice, but don't rely on it. Because the junglers really like to take the blue buff nowadays, so you probably won't get it most of your games unless you're fed and you're the only guy to solo carry. But it's not that important, guys. You have enough mana because of the mana immune, so you don't have to worry about the mana at all. Just group with your team, that's what's important. You can go to silent, like 1 versus 1 is fine, but if people collapse onto you, then you're just gonna straight up die. You only have your ultimate, and you also need to set up the feathers before you can honestly do stuff. So if people collapse onto you, then you're probably just going to die. So stay with your team, poke them with the feathers, just nuke them honestly. Look at that damage, that's absolutely not balanced. We have enough gold for the Serpent's Fang, but this game ended right here. Because we had more than enough time, but this is how you play this new version of Xayah, and also the build that I showed at the start of the video. So I hope this was helpful. As always, thanks for watching, and see y'all in the next one.